watching HALENVILLE Live with Fruitcake Tony. Woo!
All right. And we are live. Yes, we are. It's Tuesday, Charles.
Good to see everybody.
Once again, yes, it is. It is Tuesday. It's March the 5th, 2024. HALENVILLE Live, Fruitcake Tony, Charles Greene in the house. How you doing, dude?
Doing well, man. Busy, busy, busy. The sun's shining. It's warm.
I know.
Wearing shorts and T-shirts and sunglasses. And
it's gotten mild here in the South. We're enjoying it. I hope it holds on. It's already into March. Finally. Yeah. So we are very, very, very excited about the show tonight. So Alex Van Halen is writing a autobiography. It is due out in October. Yeah. So let's see. Let me, Charles, bring this up. So there's the cover. And this is via the Van Halen store right there. They're taking pre-orders later on as they approach the October 22nd release date. All right, so it says this is an intimate and open account, nothing like any rock and roll memoir you've ever read. Alex Van Halen shares his personal story of family, friendship, music, and brotherly love in a remarkable tribute to his beloved brother and bandmate, told with acclaimed New York writer Ariel Levy. Brothers is the 70-year-old drummer Alex Van Halen's love letter to his younger brother Edward. Written while still mourning his untimely death, and it says rough yet sweet voice, Alex recounts the brother's childhood first in the Netherlands, working class Pasadena, California family with musical father and very proper Indonesian-born mother, the kind of mom who admonished her boys always wear a suit no matter how famous they became, and a woman who was both proud and practical, nonchalant about taking a doggy bag from a star-studded dinner. He also shares tales of musical politics, infighting, and plenty of bad boy behavior, mostly in the story of brotherhood music and enduring love. He says, I was with him from day one. We shared the experience of coming to this country, figuring out how to fit in. We shared a record player, an 800-foot square house, a mom and dad, and a work ethic. Later, we shared the back of a tour bus, alcoholism, the experience of becoming famous, and becoming fathers and uncles, and spending more hours in the studio than I've ever spent doing anything else in this life. We shared a depth of understanding that most people can only hope to achieve in this lifetime. And this is a hardcover, 256 pages, October 22nd. Yeah.
You said 256 pages.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is what the press is saying. That's what we know. You can pre-order it from the Van Halen store later on in the season, they're saying.
They're not taking them yet, are they?
Not yet.
Yeah.
But if you get regular emails from the Van Halen store, you'll know surely and soon enough. Charles, let's open up the chat.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do. All right, I'm going to start at the bottom tonight. Sometimes I start at the top. I'm going to start here at the bottom. I see KXM Rock in the house. What's up, bro?
Right on,
OU812 in
Ryan,
the house.
good to see you, Ryan. Right there, brother.
That's Ryan from the OU812 YouTube channel. There's a link down below if you don't know who that is. Yeah. Lovely tones. Speaking of lovely,
the best.
there is Patty Dale.
Patty, it's good to see you, sweetie. I hope you're feeling better.
To see you. Yeah.
Get well, girl.
Feeling up nicely. Yeah. All right. There's Jerry. There's Jerry. What's up,
Right
Jerry?
on, Jerry. It's good to see you, bro.
Man.
Right on.
Man. Hefe, what's up tonight?
Right on, Hefe. Welcome.
All right. Zach Thong in the house. What's up?
Zach, it's good to see you, brother.
Deputy Van Halen. What's up, bro?
Right on, Deputy Van. You rock.
Yeah. Third run. That's right. Not that you don't already have the first two. All right. I'm scrolling up now, Charles.
Got to go up, brother.
Reach for the sky. All right. There it is. R2, R3, Locking Nut, our Van Halen.
You are too. Right on, bro.
All right. All right. Who's up there? If you're just joining, say hello in the chat. It's Tuesday. We are talking this announcement, this Alex Van Halen book. There's Donald Young. Good to see you, sir.
Donald, right on, bro. It's good to see you, man.
All righty. All right. So let me see. Charlie S. is here with us, Charles.
Charlie, it's good to see you, bro. Right on, man.
Guitar Man 45. What's happening?
Oh, it's good to see you, man.
All righty. So everyone's settled in. It's good to see all of you. And those of you lurking, say hello in the chat. Lots to talk about with what we just read, Charles. There he is. What's up, Ron?
Right on, Ronald. It's good to see you, brother.
There is a lot to uncork, and I don't think that it's sunk in really what, and so I don't know how to, I don't know what to make of it, but there is a benchmark that we sometimes look, people keep stuff on their coffee tables for a reason, Charles.
That's right. That's why there's coffee tables, brother.
Right. So with that said, everybody welcome. We've brought a very special guest, and he's going to give us his take on everything, but there is more to talk about with our special guest because speaking of Alex Van Halen, on his YouTube channel, a series of 3 audio lost interviews with Alex Van Halen. And those of you know what I'm talking about. The past few days we've been watching each one. Can't wait for the next day. And how lovely they were. Let's bring in the man, Steve Rosen. What's up, Steve?
Right on, bro.
How are you?
Right
Good,
on.
man. Nice to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man.
It's
Steve,
go ahead,
thank
Tony.
you.
Go ahead, bro.
Thank you, Steve, for those audio interviews and putting those up. I told Charles, how much work it must be to take those tapes and make a end thing as it's done. It is a lot of work, but they are lovely. And as little as we ever hear out of Alex, a lot of stuff in them are just absolute gold, Steve.
Very happy to hear that, man. So happy to be here. So let me address sort of your first point there, Tony, about what it takes to put that stuff up. If it was up to me, I mean, I'm still scrawling on a yellow pad with a pencil, man. The technical side of the internet, and honestly, even though I'm up on the social media thing a lot with the book, I have buddies who help me out with that, and they're posting for me. My good friend Adam Roach, and we all know Adam from down under Australia.
Love Adam.
A fantastic guy, monster Van Halen fan. He has been supportive of me from the first book. And he is just someone who has undertaken the chore of putting that stuff up on YouTube for me. And basically, I had sent him, again, there's probably about 4.5 hours of stuff. And the interview was actually done in segments. So I originally thought so I'm jumping around here again a bit. So originally I have on my little archive index that I did the 4.5 hours in one day. It's all from that day, and I can't remember the exact date, in '85. And the more I think about it, I mean, there's no way that Alex would have sat there for 4.5 hours. I mean, I don't think I could have sat there for 4.5 hours. And so the other thing is, it was already, they were already sort of in 45-minute segments, which tells me that it occurred over several days. I want to think that maybe it occurred over 2 days, but even then, that's like, 2 hours a day. Could have been, again, and I write in the book, I wish I had been more, more incisive about dating things. But I mean, I seem to think it occurred over a couple days, but because they are in basically like 6 separate segments, maybe they took place over 6 days. Hard to remember. In any event, I send Adam all this raw audio, and Adam then has to sit there, man, and he goes through and he, cleans it, he normalizes it. I'm sure he's EQ'd it a bit, because typically my voice would be much louder than the person I was speaking to, because I didn't know what the freak I was doing, and what you're going to hear, you haven't heard it yet. So segments 4, 5, and 6 will be coming up this Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So be on the lookout for those. So I think it's in segment 4. It's going to come to a part, I think it's about 25 minutes in, where it's going to sound like static or the audio is going out. That was me and my, just shoot me, using old batteries. I mean, oh God, I mean, don't even ask me, I mean, I'm sitting out there with Alex, and the Sony Walkman that I was using was a Pro Walkman. It was a very good tape player. There's like a little light to show kind of levels, and I can see the light getting dimmer, telling me that the batteries are dying. But it's like, hey, Alex, can you hang on while I go drive to the store and get some more batteries? Obviously, that wasn't going to happen.
Sure.
But at least for segments 5 and 6, I did put in new batteries, so we're all good to go. But Adam did his magic on that section 4 and retrieved what he could. Yeah, you know, I've been sitting on that interview for, well, since 1985. You know, and because it was such a long interview, I don't know, man. I just didn't want to put it out there, to be honest with you. I thought, you know what, this is like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep this one for myself. This is a special interview. Again, in the intro, I write, because this was an interview that I did for the book at the time that I was working on. You know, I had to interview Alex. I mean, if I don't interview Alex, I mean, the book, you know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was able to, like I said in the intro, I was able to sit him down, man, and he was just cool that day. He was great. And, you know, I hear it now, and I think it was really good. I think that, you know, I've had responses from some of you hardcore Van Halen people out there that you've learned things about Alex and Edward and the band that you didn't know before. And I thought, well, if I can stump, you know, you aficionados out there, then, you know, this really is something special. And,
absolutely,
you know, people have come to me and they said, well, you know, Alex is coming out with a book in October and you're putting it out, and why would you time it like that? And it was specifically for that reason, I think. I've been thinking about putting out a long time. I heard Alex was going to come out with a book, and I'm sure it's going to be remarkable. And I thought this provides a little bit more of an insight and kind of, you know, run up to what Alex's book is going to be.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I mean, maybe he, you know, not that he's going to listen to that interview. I seriously doubt it. But you know, I'm
yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Well, we'll see.
He will.
And you know, so piquing fans' interest. It's like, oh wow, can you imagine what Alex is going to say about you know, the first record or whatever, you know, he may have been talking about in the interviews. So that was my reason for doing it. And yes, you know, I did it to sort of coincide. That Saturday, March 2nd, was actually the day that the boat from China docked in Long Beach. And so the books are there. They've been offloaded and just waiting to be put on a truck and trucked to my little condo here in Orange County.
Round three. That's outstanding.
Round 3, for sure.
Nice.
Say, Steve, do you feel, just a random question, did Alex putting this book out kind of push you a little bit to go ahead and let these tapes out? Was that like the final reason? Because, I mean, you've been sitting on them forever, and I could see you sitting on these for another 4 or 5 years, man. I really could. Before I was ever get to interact with you and everybody here on YouTube, I used to read your stuff like everyone else did. And I had this preconceived idea of who you were, how you acted, how you interacted with the people that you interviewed. And getting to see you interview Alex Van Halen in such a casual fashion, whether it was 1 day, 5 days, 10 days, the best part of the book he's writing, one of the best parts for me personally, is getting to mirror your stories that he says in his own words in 1985, 6 months before 5150 is released, and mirror them to what he says about things at that time now, because he's matured. He's, you know, got a lot more miles under his belt, as we all do, as you do, especially. That's one of the, I just wanted to say that to you, that's one of the coolest things about this book coming out. The timing of it is unbelievable to Van Halen people. But did it kind of force you to kind of put it out? Was that like the straw that kind of broke the camel's back, or?
I mean, that's an excellent question, Charles. I mean, in all honesty, I was really thinking about putting it out to coincide with the 3rd edition. So maybe, you know, I was thinking about, well, maybe I'll wait until I actually have the books in hand. and maybe I put up a little post on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and put it out to sort of, as a kind of a bookend, as it were, no pun intended, to the release of the third edition. But then I heard about Alex's book. I thought, you know what, now's a good time. I don't know if it forced me. I don't think that's the right word. I just think that it was sort of a synchronicity kind of thing, I mean, I'm sure his book is going to be unbelievable. As a writer, I looked up that girl, Ariel Levy.
Yes.
And she's written for like the New Yorker. I mean, look, man, if you're writing for the New Yorker, you are a superb writer. Yeah. I mean, that's like, those people are just so freaking unbelievable, and I read some of her stuff and she's amazing, So, I don't know, man, maybe I was reading her stuff and thinking, wow, my God, this book is going to be pretty remarkable, I like to think of it more as a gentle nudge than forcing me. But yeah, I think what it's doing for fans is kind of, laying maybe some groundwork. So yes, Alex is now going to come out with his book and oh yeah, remember that Rosen talked about that little bit there when they did the backyard party in 73, and here's Alex, talking about that specific event. And it just seemed right,
Well, and to get to listening to him, there's a specific beauty about the tapes that you have that, I'm going to say it, kind of supersede Alex's book in one way that I see, right? Very evident. Your tapes are in his own words.
And they're gold.
In his own words.
Stuff.
And the book has been edited and it's written, yours is more raw and a whole lot more personal. When Alex is talking about the very original origin days, which he does throughout the tapes.
Yeah.
Your ability to actually keep him on point it just goes to show you in your sleep how good you are as a journalist, because as I listened to it, was losing him. I would lose him. I would be, well, is he a little confused? And then you would bring him back. You brought him back and say, is that this or is it that? And you'd make him think. And every once in a while he would say, well, no, it was this. Very interesting the way that you interviewed him in his own words. I find it priceless, Steve. It's priceless.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just makes his book all the better. I've said it the last few weeks and months here. There's a lot of Van Halen on the horizon.
For everybody who actually listens to. And so if you haven't listened to these, there's a link down below, Steve Rosen on YouTube. Go click there, subscribe, save it in your browser, and listen to it. Each one so far, 1, 2, and 3, they're just under an hour. And Steve, you caught Alex in a very good mood, and you took advantage of it, and he was happy to sit right down right then and not later. And he talked, and you got him to talk. And when you guys at the end of each one, is this a good time to take a break? Well, and you made it, but when you came back, you went right back after it, right?
Yeah, man. Well, that's so cool, man. I'm so happy that you guys have, gotten that from the interview. Charles, you bring up some interesting points. I think what is interesting about this is that the interview is done in 1985. As you mentioned, it's 6 months before 5150 comes out. So all of that is going on around them, and
you can feel that tension. You can still feel the tension, right?
Right. So, you're going to hear him, if he hasn't already, in the first 3 segments, talking about Dave. There was really no love lost between Alex and Dave,
He put it out there too, dude.
Yeah, man, and part of me was thinking, well, God, I better go in and listen to all these segments and maybe some of that stuff. But it's like, anybody who's read the book knows that I've tried to be as honest and open, and some people, not many, but a couple people have remarked, well, why would you, give your opinions of like Mike and Dave, and why would you say those things? And again, I try to put all those comments in the context of one. Without Mike and Dave in the band, Van Halen is not Van Halen. I've always said that. And then people would say to me, and I know I'm jumping subjects here a little bit, but I'll tie it in. They say to me, well, how can you, have those feelings about Mike and Dave, but still feel they're the right guys for the band? And my response is, it's not mutually exclusive. I mean, there are bands that I love, and I don't like the drummer or the bass player particularly, but that doesn't mean that they're not the perfect people to be in that band. And that was my feelings about Mike and Dave. And I tried to explain that, I grew up, listening to just a different kind of bass player and a different kind of singer, and I was used to listening to, Paul Rogers and Gary Brooker and, Leslie West and Rod Stewart and Jack Bruce and, bass players, Jack Bruce and Chris Squire and John Entwistle and Mark Andes from Spirit. I'm not saying that they were any better than Michael or Dave. It's just that my ears, that's what I was used to hearing. And so when I heard Mike and Dave, it didn't fill me the way that those guys did. It's just my opinion. And certainly fans of those guys are going to have different opinions. I guess what's a little, off-putting is how angry people get, or how much they want to strike out at you. Like, what the fuck do you know? And how could you, and that's the last thing on my mind. Again, I could have written a book that was so simple, and I never could have inserted myself into it and made my viewpoints known. But that's not the kind of book I wanted to write. And at the end of the day, like I said, man, 99.9% of everybody who's read that book have understood why I said those things. But to get back to your point a little bit, Charles, so what I find is interesting about this interview and about my other Van Halen interviews is that they were done, in the moment, in the time, so in 78 and 79, these interviews are taking place. And yes, after the fact, all these years later, maybe we know kind of some of that stuff about Edward and, how he was setting his vibrato bar up and things like that. But back in the day, that was the first time he ever had those conversations. And that's what I find fascinating. And that's what I find fascinating about the interview with Alex. Like I said, I don't think he's ever done an interview, sort of that comprehensive. Mm-hmm. And again, one other thing that kind of makes this completely different than what his book will be is, one, obviously he's the brother. He was there every moment, but that relationship, as we all know, between family members is way different than the relationship.
Yes.
And a lot of times,
that's actually the magic right there is a huge part for me, the magic of the tapes. Because you hear in his voice, you can hear him talking about Edward. He talks about his brother, and even though people around him might not totally agree with every word he's saying at the time, Dave's story of this will be different. Mike's story of this would be a little different, this and that. Even if his father was to give his take, it'd be a little different. It's not about the factualness of it. It's about the beauty of it and the wholesomeness and the fact that it's family, Van Halen family at its core. It really,
Mikey Mojo, what's up?
It gives us a deeper understanding of who they were as brothers on a level that supersedes pretty much anything that we've heard anywhere else. You're downplaying the sheer incredibleness. Me and Tony, we're flipping out, man. And I'm only on the third set. I can't wait. And I anticipate this as much as I do Alex's book.
That is extraordinary.
Right now, I want to hear the tapes so badly that Alex's book is icing on the cake now.
At this point in time, are those coming out, Steve? Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. What time? I know.
Same time, guys. 9 a.m. California time, Pacific Standard Time.
Okay.
And I thought, the weekend and a Monday, a week apart. So I think parts 4, 5, and 6 should be pretty revealing. I think Alex gets into some pretty heavy stuff. But yeah, Charles, I mean, again, you kind of hit on it. Really, what I love about releasing this stuff is that it really provides a window, and I've used that word in the book. It's like trying to look at Edward, through this tiny window, and you got to clear off the dust, and how do we understand this person better, and for me, providing that window into somebody like Alex, who we haven't heard from, and understandably was devastated by his brother's passing. I mean, I can't imagine that. My brother passed. I mean, but and I'm sure what his book will do is give us this panorama. I'm sure, again, this writer, I'm sure, is an astonishingly great writer. So I'm sure the book will be, beautiful to read. And again, it provides this other kind of view into these brothers, this band, from a family member, I'm sure it will be amazing. Undoubtedly.
He makes there's a small section. You guys have heard it, know all this, but I don't want to talk too much about the little facts because I want people to absorb it and get it one-on-one. But there's a moment where he's talking about his father and his ability as a clarinet player, and how he used to just emphasize work on one note with that clarinet, and just one note, and how he'd work it out to where that note was the sweetest he could possibly get it. And the way he tells that story, and the way that he sort of meshes it and joins it into Edward's guitar playing, and he talks about how both of them and their evolution of how they got it. It is a timeline from history.
Like that's gold, Steve. That's just gold to us.
Yeah, and you find yourself sitting. When I think of Edward, I think of him sitting in his bedroom with a 6-pack of Schlitz and his guitar while Alex is out getting laid. I mean, that's it. That's what we all do, right? And so I so enjoy the journey that this takes you down, listening to it in an audible fashion. It's fantastic. In his own words. In his own words.
Three, if you have not listened to these, they are less than an hour each. Man, good gosh. Mind-blowing stuff in those from Alex Van Halen. Oh my God.
Alex just talk about the first 2 English. I'm not going to tell you what they are, guys. He talked about the first 2 English words that him and Edward ever learned. And it's brilliant. The story of it. Elementary school, I believe. It was elementary or maybe middle school, maybe 7th grade for Alex. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable stories.
Steve, a long time ago, 3 years ago, when we started Show Me Your Pick, you showed us a satchel. I think you were at your old place then. It was like a briefcase, and it was just full of tapes. A lot of were unmarked, and you were talking about a lot of the audio stuff that you had that you didn't know what on earth you were going to do with. and you weren't even sure what was on half of them. You remember
That's
that?
so funny. I vaguely remember that. Yeah, man. You know, you're confronted with all these tapes and, you know, your memories and, you know, stories you've written, and you think, well, yeah, you know, let's think about a book, you know, and like, where do you begin and how do you write a book and how would I write the book? And again, I've said it before, man. And Tony, you kept banging on me. And I remember you specifically, man. You got to write the book, man. You got to write the book. All right, Tony, ease up, buddy. Enough already. But yeah, man, it took a long time. Well, it took 17 years. And even then, you know, when I kind of sat down, it's like, yeah, I mean, I sort of was sitting down ostensibly to see if I could write a book, but it was really just to see, you know, what comes out, what is there, you know. And had it been something that I didn't think was any good, honestly, I don't know if I could have kept pursuing it. I mean,
well,
you know, if the first step you fall and you trip over your shoelaces, it's like, you know, I mean, I suppose some people get themselves, you know, get back up and tie their shoes and keep walking. For me, I don't know, man, that would have been a tough one. Had I, you know, written those first few lines of that intro and read it and goes, this is horrible. What was I thinking? You know, it would have been so easy to have shelved.
It did take that long to write. This wasn't because you can hear in these lost interviews on more than one occasion where you and Alex refer to the book you're writing at the current time then.
Oh, really? I got to tell you guys something. I have not listened top to bottom. I mean, I'll be honest. And this is something, I may have said this before about my interviews. It's really, really hard for me to listen to an interview that I've done, not just with Edward, and maybe more so with Edward because he means so much to me. But any interview that I've ever done, man, when I'm transcribing the tapes, you know, initially to, you know, kind of write the stories, it's like, man, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. It's like, it's so uncomfortable. It's like, who is that guy talking to Jimmy Page? What? He sounds like a moron. I mean, and I don't mean that. I'm not looking for, you know, pats on the back, but I've always felt that way. Maybe other writers.
Everybody hates to hear themselves talk.
They
love
do
to hear ourselves sing, but hate to hear ourselves talk.
Yeah, and more so when you're the person on the other end of the conversation is Edward Van Halen or Gary Moore or, you know, Steve Winwood. It's like they sound so amazing, and that dickhead Rosen sounds like, why didn't you even let him in the room, you know? So when you guys bring up those specific moments, Charles, and you say that the book is referenced, I love hearing that stuff.
It's fact. There's so we're through section 3 right now. There's at least a half a dozen times where Alex either says, Steve, you can keep that in the book if you want, or you can cut it out, but I'm saying it. He does. And then he says, he makes reference to the book on a couple of other different notes where he's not knocking Dave, saying, you know, we're so, you know, you're going to put that in the book. You're going to put this in the book. So he's not only fortifying your Van Halen story, your life story. I want to hear your life story.
He really accommodated that.
Yes, he's on board. He's on board. He's on fire for this. And he's as upbeat and positive as anything I've ever heard Alex say.
It kind of strikes as this is 1985 too. So, I mean, this to me, it kind of, having not heard much out of the Van Halen camp initially out of your book, Steve, this I look at that as great. I mean, I think Alex, that you were there early and he knew it, and you know, that day he was in he accommodated you, and gave you a oh my God, yeah, a lot. And he was in a great mood too.
And
He wanted to sit down and talk with you. He was happy to.
exactly, Tony. I think a lot of that is because he knew that Eddie was on board and was doing the book. So he was being a good big brother, which shows in the interview.
You know, I mean, that's exactly, those are my memories of that interview, but you guys saying that he referenced the book
Oh yeah,
like
At least
that,
it's
you know,
fun.
tells me, hey,
Alf
my
G,
memory
good to see
was
you.
was correct. You know, that he was on board, and I always believed he was.
Mhm.
You know, or he wouldn't have. Look, man, if he wasn't into the book, one, he never would have sat for the interview. Two, he would have made his feelings known whenever I would run into him up at 5150. Like I said in the intro, you know, he only lived a couple miles away, and I'm sure he would have made me feel uncomfortable. But it was never like that. I always felt comfortable in his presence, you know. And I'm going to fast forward here, and I don't want to give away the book to those people who may not have read it. But you know, so we fast forward. Actually, it's just about 6 or 7 years later. Is it 91 when the Van Halen opened for Bon Jovi, or is it later? 94, 95 when Van Halen opened for Bon Jovi in Europe. My chronology is bad.
I'm thinking 92. I'm thinking 92.
Right,
I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking.
So 7 years later, I mean, not a real long time, but, you know, so in that little interim, my relationship with Edward has changed, right? We don't hang out as much. I'm up there at 5150 in an interview that was organized by Warner Brothers Records. I no longer call Edward to set up the interviews, so that has changed. And I'm there to interview Edward, and Alex comes into the room, and I write about this in the book. And Alex makes some comments about Bon Jovi, you know, and he says, Bon Jovi thinks, we're going out with them so they can legitimize us. Well, fuck Bon Jovi, they're bringing us so we can legitimize them, And he said some other things, and it was just me and Alex, and I didn't think that much of it. And like I said, they were the most honest comments I'd heard anybody say that day, because I knew Edward well enough to know that the answers I was getting from him literally were the same answers he was giving to the next 15 guys. I mean, I knew it from the first question I asked him. I mean, I'd been around him enough to know. Sure. And then, later, Edward says, oh, man, Al hates you because you printed that, thinking it was so innocuous. I mean, I didn't think it meant anything, And then later on, the Van Halen documentary, and Alex hates me all over, But when you guys tell me this, and I think back to that day or those days, I think, yeah, man, our relationship was really good. I mean, yes, he was on board. He was supportive. And I haven't spoken to Alex since, well, God, maybe that was the last time in 92. So, I mean, I can't even count that high,
There's not a chance in hell that he has not already listened to the audio interview that he did with you.
Boy, I don't know, man.
Pure morbid curiosity.
Everybody on the planet has with this book announcement. And Steve, come on. The world's not that big.
It's huge, man. It's huge.
I mean, I fantasize, and we have these dreams, and I would like to think, I would love to think that Alex heard that, and for a moment, for one second, he thought, yeah, I remember that, and I remember Steve Rosen coming over there, and he was going to write the book about my brother. And for a moment, it was a positive feeling, and if that much happened, and if he has listened, man, I hope he got something from it. I hope it meant something to him. I hope he just didn't dismiss it and say, that Rosen, that fucker, he wrote that nasty thing about me and Bon Jovi, and that's his last memory of me. Or that Rosen documentary.
No way.
Fuck him.
You put a better part of a decade of your life into writing a book that essentially never got written at the time.
That's what happened.
That's incredibly taxing on you as a human being, and it says a lot about you. Okay, it says volumes. You know, there's 2 sides, 3 sides, 10 sides to every story, and me and Tony talk about you from time to time, and we kind of gush over you here and there, but it's not disgenuine in any way. You have thoroughly amazed us in your journalism walk. Unbelievable. You've possessed tapes from Alex Van Halen that the Van Halen world would have given their left arm for 10, 15 years ago. The fact that you have the wherewithal to keep your cards, not show your hand, and hold on to this time capsule of unbelievable. I can't wait to hear section 4.
So Steve,
I'm almost giddy. All right.
So how long? First of all, it's 2-part. How long have you known about these Alex Van? Because I know a lot of those tapes were all unmarked and unlabeled. And my next question on top of that, how much more stuff, unlabeled stuff, is out there that's not uncovered by yourself yet that we don't know about?
The interviews with Alex were on tapes, labeled, again, like I said, all that same day. So I've known about them. I've known about them. I just sort of became aware of them again when I thought about, well, what can I put out to sort of coincide with the arrival of the 3rd edition, you know? So I'm probably looking through my archives, you know, I have alphabetical lists, and I think I probably showed some of those as well. And I saw the interview with Alex. I had no idea how long it was. I knew that it was a fairly lengthy one. I had no idea that it was that long. So that one I kind of knew about. And like I said, I probably thought about it a while ago, but that one I wanted to keep for myself. I put out the interviews with Mike, and I thought that was cool, and the one with Dave. And but the one with Alex, I didn't want to let that one go. But then I thought, you know what, that would be a kind of a cool one. And then again, after the announcement of the book, again, not being forced into it, but sort of, okay, there's some connecting tissue here. So I thought the time was right. In terms of what do I have that's unlabeled, nothing specifically unlabeled. However, what I do have are dozens and dozens of the interviews I did ostensibly for the original book that I was going to write, the official autobiography, back in '85. And man, I was looking through some of those interviews. There is some amazing stuff.
You've got the book
with who?
That was never written,
Steve?
still.
Edward or
no? It's none of the band. It's none of the band. It's all of those ancillary interviews I was doing with friends and promoters and musician buddies. In the book, in the back of the Van Halen's Voices, the oral narrative section, there's bits and pieces of some of those interviews I did. Well, all of those interviews are complete interviews. There's only tiny excerpts in there. So there's all of those interviews were basically done for the book. Terry Kilgore has an extraordinary memory, and his insights, man, were amazing. I mean, Terry was there. He was there, and I thought his comments that I kind of, excerpted from his interview were great. But I mean, I don't know, man, an hour and a half with Terry, but I have some other amazing people. Lynn Ellsworth, Lynn provided all the bodies and the necks and stuff. I mean, some of the stuff that he talks about, Edward's music teacher, Mr. Fisher. I mean, some of the stuff. And a bunch of people I'm not going to tell you about because I'll surprise you one day and that stuff will come out. But there's some amazing interviews in there. hopefully I can get around it and crack the whip and get Adam to, keep cleaning and putting the stuff up and,
Well, Steve, what you continue to do, which it just never changes. You do Edward Van Halen honor and the Van Halen family honor with every step you take. You really do. Period.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
These Alex Van Halen audio books. I know we're talking about the release. We hadn't talked about the book that he's writing, but these audio books, Steve, this is front page news to every Van Halen fan. If you ain't listened to these, my goodness, wow. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I mean, Edward was, and by extension, Alex. I mean, they were, my God, I mean, they're legendary musicians. I was lucky to have been there, and they accepted me. And yeah, man, I mean, again, another one of my fantasies is, somehow reconnecting with them, and hopefully they don't harbor these ill feelings towards me. And I mean, I think Wolf is an extraordinarily gifted musician. I mean, my God, does he have Van Halen blood running through him? Wow. I mean, the guy,
Yeah.
And look, Wolfgang Van Halen, and I mean, look how the grief he gets. I'll tell you, man, there's no free ride in this world. And you have that last name, as amazing as it is. Yes. I mean, my God, people say things about him that must just be crushing. I mean, if somebody makes the least little comment about me, it's like I go hide in a corner. I can't take it. But, so.
He was born with Eddie's thick skin and Alex's thick skin, man.
Well, I think that ultimately, Steve, at the end of the day, everybody is going to look at the intent. You didn't put that book out there in any negative ill will in whatsoever. Right. And nobody who I know looks at it that way and ever has since day one. I mean, that was speculation before it ever came out, but that went the hell away quick.
That's right.
This is fabulous. I mean, it stays on my coffee table, and I am damn proud of it.
I mean, that is very, very kind for you to say that, man. Intent is a really important word, and when I finished the book and, all the honest bits and, and all the stuff that, people maybe didn't know about Edward or, I mean, I really thought, how will people accept that? Are they going to come screaming down my neck? And how could I say those things about their hero? And yeah, at the heart of that is the intent. And I thought if they understand why I wrote that book, then they'll understand what was in the book. And like I said, man, 99.9%, I believe, of everybody who's read that book understood the intent. And Alex describes it, or the press release describes it as a 300-page, 256-page love letter to his brother. And I get it, and in my way, yeah, man, it was me, it was a 580-page, kind of homage to this person who I could call a friend for all these years, and how he changed the world, and how lucky I was to spend 1 minute with him, much less, years and years and years. And I think people sensed that. And when they read those more personal parts, and I've said it before, man, trust me, I really agonized about putting some of those parts in there. Do I really, really want to put that in there? Does it advance the story? Does it advance the relationship? Does it explain, humanize is a word that somebody used about what the book did to Edward. Does it humanize Edward? And I believe it did, man, because it's those really honest parts, that are deep inside it that you haven't heard him say 800 times, right. that you go, my God, that one line says so much about the guy.
That's right.
And yes, it might be a little negative about, maybe his relationships or his, about the other guys, but it explains so much. And then on the other side of that, he explains that, I love these guys and I love my wife and I made mistakes, you know what I mean? And I tried to balance all of that, and the last thing I ever wanted to do, like I said, and I've said it before, was hurt somebody or embarrass somebody, or have somebody come after me. It's like, so yeah, I hope people have reacted to the book like that. I believe they have. And again, man, there's a few naysayers out there and they don't get it, and Rosen's cashing in. And hey, I suppose, you can't please everybody all the time.
No,
I'm just happy I please most of the people.
Yeah, those that say that, they don't know you, Steve.
Your contribution to the Van Halen world has not even been measured yet. Okay? It's incredible. I don't think you even realize it, Steve.
Well, you guys are great for my soul. I have to tell you that.
Oh, we do try.
Well, keep trying, guys. I mean,
But Tony, I'm speaking for both of us right now. It's an absolute honor every time you give us your time. Thank you.
Very kind, guys.
Absolutely.
And on that beautiful note, I hate to jump here, but I'm going to go run and try to take care of some book business. When I get the new copies in hand, and foreseeing no major problems, they should be here this week. We'll get back together and we can talk about the new book and new cover.
Absolutely. New cover. And as soon as it gets out here, ToneChaserBook.com, and it'll take you right there. If you were one of the only ones on the planet who do not have this book, but go there. We are eagerly waiting to get our extra third copy, Steve.
Yeah, man, cool. And if
Thanks for being here.
Cool, man. So once I have books, they will go back up on Amazon. Which is now, if you go there, it'll say book not available or whatever that might say. They'll be back up on eBay, Etsy, and actually you can pre-order the book on Reverb as well.
Cool.
Which is pretty cool. And those great guitar picks, I think maybe you've seen those. I will include those in every book until they run out. And yeah, man, it's all good. And guys, thanks so much for having me. And so everybody check out part 4 on Saturday coming. And I'm sure all of you will be on the lookout for Alex's book. And I'm sure it'll be fantastic, amazing. And so we will talk to you guys soon. And thanks to everybody in the chat who stopped by.
Yeah, Steve, thanks for being here. Will you be giving an announcement of when you'll be ready to ship and those who haven't ordered can order?
I will. I'll do that. I'm hoping really that I'll have the books in hand Thursday or Friday. I will make that announcement, and I will start shipping out pre-orders according to when you place your order. FIFO, first in, first out. So if you put in a pre-order, and I think I began taking them back in December, and I do apologize for the delay, man. I didn't think it would be this many months between editions, but you can never figure these things out. But I'm pretty good about getting books out, man. And literally, I will be taking boxes and boxes and boxes of books to the post office every day to get caught up on first editions, third editions pre-orders. And so it's all good. And I will certainly let everybody know what's going on.
Awesome. Steve, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Everybody, go check out Steve on his YouTube. There's a link down below. Those Alex Van Halen part 1, 2, and 3 are up. Part 4, 5, and 6 Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern here, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
Each day. We are eagerly awaiting those, Steve.
Cool.
We'll let everybody know also when you're ready to ship right here. So we'll be talking about it. Thanks for being here.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Steve.
See you, Steve.
Love you, bro.
See you, buddy.
Right on.
All right. And
hey, Lenny Lou is in the chat. Lenny,
hey,
love
Lenny
you
Lou.
and Mary. Right on. Peter Biker. Right on, Peter. Welcome to Halenville, brother.
There's Peter. Hey, man.
Right on.
Nice. Thanks for being here, dude. Yep. So Steve, with these audio interviews coming out, me and Charles we've obviously known about this Alex Van Halen book announcement for a couple, 3 weeks, whatever it's been, a month, but hadn't talked about it, and decided to talk about it tonight. But this past few days with the lost interviews from Steve with Alex Van Halen, as good as they are, oh my gosh.
Christ, man.
Yeah. So.
And another shout out to Adam Roach.
Yeah.
What a wonderful soul. He's so professional. He's freaking awesome. Audio engineer. We love you, Adam. And thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Adam's awesome. You'll see Adam's link for his YouTube down in the description if you're scrolling down there. There's Polly Walnuts. What's up, bro?
It's good to see you, Polly. Right on, brother.
Happy Tuesday. All right. Yeah, so it's March the 5th. Oh, goodness. So Steve was kind enough to, and we've had, where's it at? Oh, they're in there. So Steve was kind enough to give us some ToneChaser guitar picks, and a couple of you have already scored a couple of those. Wayno, what's up, dude?
Good to see you, Wayno. Right on, brother.
See you, man.
Right on, man. Very cool.
Yeah, so we're going to give one of those away. I came prepared with a question, but I wrote another question, Charles.
I know. Hey, yeah. Mikey Mojo in the chat. It's good to see you, Mikey.
What's up,
right on,
bro?
Right on, man.
Mikey Mojo. So, kids, why don't we, before we get back into this Alex Van Halen book, let's have a break and go to the fridge. I need some more tea myself. Jeez. And let's pull some nearly impossible Van Halen trivia like that. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not? But we're going to score somebody, Charles. We're going to all right, somebody's getting $1 million Van Halen bucks.
That's just must-have cash right there.
$1 million bucks. Yeah. Ain't talking about love.
Good guess, right. Ryan. Great guess, brother.
All right, plus. Ooh, we're going to give you one of these that Steve talked about, these ToneChaser guitar picks. Steve will be including one of these in your order for the 3rd edition cover. Yeah, that's coming soon, but that's coming right now. That's what we're going to chunk out of here, Charles, for nearly impossible Van Halen trivia. I'm going to leave this on the desk. Everybody, I trust you're coming back from the fridge. I'm going to make a mad dash to the fridge real quick. I'm going to leave the headphones on. Lucy may hop up here in the chair, but I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Excellent. So while the cat's away, mice are going to play. I really enjoyed watching the OU 812 show the other day. I got to watch all the boys ripping some guitar. I couldn't make the show. I'm so sorry, you guys, for my tardiness. I was working up until well beyond 6 o'clock. And when I got home, I wasn't doing nothing. I was doing nothing. But I sat all week waiting to come on and enjoy spending time with you guys. And I'm really sorry I couldn't make it. I look forward to that. So anyway, hopefully we can pick up next Sunday. I'm anticipating it, and he's putting his headphones back on. What'd you miss?
Right. What'd I miss? What'd I miss? All right.
I was telling jokes. They weren't very good.
All right, everybody. I trust you're back from the kitchen. All right, snack time. All right, where are we at? All right, so our little game of Nearly Impossible Van Halen Trivia is going to score you those prizes for tonight. And this game of Nearly Impossible Van Halen Trivia for March 5th, 2024 is brought to you by Legend Picks. If you need custom guitar picks, Legend Picks, they're our choice. They're a lot of these guys' choice. And hopefully your choice. Link is down below. You'll see it. Legend Picks, Greg, Legend Picks.
Hey, Tony, you know who just popped into the chat?
Who's that?
Adam Roach.
Adam.
His ears were burning. That's what it was.
There he is. Right on. Good to see you, Adam.
Adam, we were talking about you, bro. Just
5 minutes late, bro.
Just a little public, little kudos to you, brother. You're awesome. Thank you for all of your work and input and making this happen for us. It's like Christmas right now, and I really appreciate you like we all do. Love you.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
You rock, dude. And it's always great to see you, too, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so bad either, Adam.
Hey, Peter Biker.
Right on, Peter. Bam,
right on. Yeah, Adam. Always great to see you. Everybody who's won trivia lately in any part of the world, all of your stuff is en route. Check your mailboxes. Coming at you. Let's give something else away. I see a lot of cool names. All the cool kids are here tonight. Thanks for being here. It's so good to see you guys. I can't say enough about all you guys. I can't. Much love. Yep. Absolutely. The support you guys give us here on this channel, Brendan and Ed, thank you so much. It does not, we appreciate the hell out of it. It humbles us, we get to come on here alone for starters, which is the luxury and an honor, and talk about Van Halen once a week with my buddy Charles, but to do it out here with you guys who support us and who also love Van Halen, it's awesome. So thank you. It's great to see all of you. Let's pop into this question. I have two questions. I don't think I'm going to use one because
these are good questions.
I have to.
So you're only going to use one of the two?
I don't always write hard ones though, Charles.
Yeah. I didn't say these were necessarily super hard. I just said they're super good. We're going to get a lot of guesses,
But there's always that one Van Halen nerd that knows it right off the bat.
Yeah,
I
they
can't
are
write
good.
these things hard enough. But so I had one prepared as I normally do, and with Steve coming aboard tonight, I decided to write another one in honor of Steve being here. So if you kids have listened to those 3 audios, you might have an advantage on this question. How's that? Hint?
Oh, hey, Tony. Wayno asked a question. Let me answer him real quick. Wayno, Tony's on the eastern side of North Carolina, and I'm on the western end. We're both in NC. Hold on, bro.
Yeah. I'm in the middle and he's in the southwest, I guess. Right?
Yeah, I'm just outside of Charlotte.
Yeah. Yeah. So he
And
is.
and Randy was talking about something about a crazy something going on at a Waffle House. I just want to say that when we had lunch at Waffle House was nice. No drama. I didn't even hear a dish break. It was awesome.
I feel like I saw a name in the chat who I haven't said yet that. So if I haven't, say hello. I feel like I'm missing some. There's Gretch Zeppelin. What's up,
Right on,
Gretch?
Gretch. It's
Good
good
to
to see
see
you,
you,
Gretch.
sir. Who? I feel like I'm missing somebody. Like there was a name that. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's do this. As Dave Grohl would say. All right. Good luck, kids. Nearly Impossible Van Halen Trivia for tonight for ToneChaser guitar pick. You ready?
Let's do this.
All right. Here we go. Good luck. As written in Steve Rosen's ToneChaser and confirmed in Steve's latest 3-part series, Alex Van Halen, The Lost Interview, what was the first song Eddie Van Halen ever wrote? Name that tune. It's in the book, and it was confirmed with Alex. They both talked about this in the audio. Not going to say which part.
Good guesses, guys. Randy. Randy Price. Not bad, bro. Andy Carson. Great guess, bro. All good guesses. Gretch.
Alex said that this song was a staple but never recorded. A regular, he said, was his exact words. All right, let me make sure that I have not missed any answers. Let's see.
Lenny Lou. Good guesses, guys. Real good guesses.
Never recorded. Correct. As in never put on a record. Correct.
Good question, Tony.
inspired by Steve Rosen.
Straight out of Alex's mouth.
Yeah.
You can't get it any better than that.
Kids, if you ain't
yeah.
listened to these, if you have not listened to these audio tapes, there's so much new stuff that I didn't know, we didn't know, that my ears are just, oh my God, you a kid. And he caught Alex in such a good mood, and he was just talking and referencing and Ed and this and yeah, oh my God.
And you get to hear Steve Rosen do what Steve does. He talks about, especially back in those early days, about, what a fledgling journalist he was and this, that, and the other thing. He was the shit. I knew his name. The people in the clubs, everyone knew who Steve Rosen was. And he's very humble. I find that one of his best qualities.
Yeah, Steve is very humble. When his book came out, I've known Steve, and so I didn't find anything in it to be too personal. I didn't think, well, somebody's not going to like this or somebody's not going to like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that one time.
Yeah.
Not one time.
Lenny Lou mentions, he talks about, Alex talks about old clubs. He mentions Walter Mitty's.
He does.
He's in Pomona. I heard them advertise on KLOS and KMET. I never went to Walter Mitty's. It was way too far freaking inland, man. It was on the other side of Pomona. I've been there, but never to see a show, But yeah, very cool, Lenny. Very cool.
Lenny Lou, yeah, he tells the whole account of the first time that they played there and how that little run there at Walter Mitty's Rock and Roll Emporium in Pomona got started. He goes into all that. So Lenny, if you hadn't listened to that, oh my gosh, dog, go check it out. Yeah, Lenny is.
She says she has.
Yeah,
you see that?
We've talked about. We've showed her signed contract here on the show. Yeah, that is from Walter Mitty's. Alex Van Halen was the booking agent, manager, everything, and yeah, that's lovely, Lenny.
It's super cool.
Yes.
Yeah, Wayno Rat Salad. Some of the names, and it's kind of interesting.
I don't think they're going to get it, Charles.
Alex gives Eddie a lot of the credit for coming up with some of the crazy names they came up with just so they could get from, going to different clubs and shit. Yeah, very cool, man. Very cool.
Everybody, let's all give another good guess here.
Yeah.
And
I think you got him, Tony.
Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to go back and listen to those interviews.
I was really hoping someone could get one of those picks, man.
Yeah.
I love it when you stump them, but I always want
you guys
to
keep
win.
it on the edge of nearly impossible. I give Van Halen fans lots of credit because they know their shit. They do.
Yeah, Kurt.
I can't write these things too.
Yeah, interesting. Kurt asked a question. Well, he makes a statement. Read that last statement Kurt made. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Kurt. But Alex says differently.
Yeah. Yeah. It comes right out of his mouth first. And then Steve, oh yeah. Ed told me that too. And it's in the book. Interesting, Adam.
Isn't that interesting? Wow.
Can't wait.
Wow.
Adam, I am happy to send you a ToneChaser guitar pick. If you don't have one, I certainly am happy to. If you know the answer, bring it. Yeah, man. Because Adam's listening to these things. Oh, yeah.
I imagine Adam could just about recite sections of this
3,
almost verbatim.
4, 5. Where is it? He must have one. He's letting everybody else. It's not totally impossible, R2. It's nearly impossible.
Really.
See, there's somebody in the chat knows the answer. They've said.
Somewhere on the planet Earth, someone knows the answer to this.
Yeah, that's like asking Ted about a Van Halen lyric. Oh, of course. Fucking cut the tape. Yeah. Not totally.
I'm going to scroll back up real quick and look at all these answers and make sure that I haven't missed anything. Maybe you didn't miss anything.
All right.
Just want to make sure.
Everybody, while we're going all the way up and he's going all the way up, if you got one more guess and you want to plow in, okay. I don't see any takers, Charles.
I don't either. I've looked pretty close.
I appreciate all the guesses, though. Some great guesses. All right, so let's reveal the answer. We'll put a stop in there. All right. That's the last guess. There's your stopper. Save your guesses.
Good to see you, Tommy. Love you, brother. Vent Tom in the chat, guys.
Tommy, what's up, bro? All right, so Steve wrote about this in his book, and it's on the audio. Okay. If you haven't listened to Steve Rosen's 3-part, or it's 6, plan 4, 5, and 6, but part 1, 2, and 3 up on his YouTube, he they're talking about song staples, and Alex starts popping off, song titles, recognizable, and then he all of a sudden he says, "Believe me," and Steve pipes up, says, "Oh yeah, believe me, Ed told me that not long," or and it is in the book also, "Believe Me," and this was done this was the first song he ever wrote before everything.
There you go.
Yeah, but there is spent in those audios, Charles, there is so much stuff to hear Alex to speak about his father and Ed and the relationship and their relationship, and it was remarkable as hell. I mean, I can't. A lot of you have, and you know what I'm talking about, but oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed Wayno was saying in the chat that he hadn't heard the tape yet. It's 3 sections, Wayno. Unbelievable. To get to not only hear Al, his voice, it's unbelievable, man. You just check it out, brother. Check it out, bro. It's super cool, brother.
You guys, he gave you a clue. The only one that knew the answer. All right. I thought somebody would have known it, but
Yes.
like
Yes,
I
Rosen
say,
Spade.
I guess, yeah. All righty. So I'm gonna save my other one for next week, because it is a pretty good one.
It's just as good as this one that we just did. Just as good.
Easier or harder?
About the same. Maybe a little easier. Maybe a little bit. Interesting enough. Oh well, I'm gonna shut up.
All right. Okay.
Oh wait, no, it ain't like homework, brother. If homework was this good, we'd all be brilliant, brother. Right on, man.
Adam says there's more talk about his parents coming up, the pot story, friends, the record deal, plus lots more. Right on, bro. We are eagerly awaiting, and Saturday, I hope I'm on a golf course somewhere in North Carolina, but if the minute I get back home, of course, that's my treat for Saturday afternoon. Fuck yeah.
Golf's been on Tony's mind a lot lately, you guys. He's been having way lots of fun playing 9 holes. Not even going a full 18, eh, Tony? Just a sweet 9.
I can't seem, between the weather and work and golf opportunities, golf opportunities kind of happen. So, but you have to have everything kind of line up, and it is still winter, so yeah. Nice days are coming. It's already March, so.
Ryan's got to run. It's good seeing you, Ryan. Love you, brother.
Ryan,
you do well.
see you, dude.
Right
Nice
there.
to see you. We will see you Thursday, 8 p.m. Trans Trim Thursday, where the sweet tones happen on YouTube. Hey, Charles?
It's pretty damn cool. No doubt about it. Hey, Kurt played golf on Saturday and went skiing on Sunday.
There you go, dude.
Shit, that's a perfect weekend, man.
That's weather.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah, Kurt's got those cool resorts up there and some nice golf courses up there, too.
Yeah.
Hit them straight, dude. Yeah.
Outstanding.
I know. I just can't seem to walk off a golf course, Charles, with the same golf ball.
Well,
I take one and I'm like, I'm going to leave this place with this. Never happens.
I'm in the same boat. I'll have 6 balls in the bag and leave with none. It's happened.
Well, when you play in the cool months, when the climate is not so nice and forgiving, and I play on a golf course that absolutely eats your golf balls every hour of it's a golf ball eating machine. Yeah. It ain't the course, it's the player, right, Charles?
I'm having flashbacks from being in Hawaii. There's a municipal golf course called the Alawai Golf Course. It's fantastic. It's a par 3. Nothing major. Most damn fun you'll have. Oh, get a cart and roll, man. It's fantastic. My brother-in-law, Rex, we used to do that on Sunday mornings. At least twice a month.
Our greens are just with the hint of spring our greens on our golf courses are just starting to lighten up and get good.
Yeah.
Not fairways. A lot of grasses here won't come in until May,
That's
end
right.
of May.
That's right.
But the greens are looking nice and inviting. Every golf course I ride by, my mouth waters, Charles. But yeah, we're gonna
It's
get it all into it this spring.
funny. Wayno and I suffer from the same golf course syndrome. I very seldom walk off a golf course sober either, Wayno. I have too much fun, man. I'm a horrible golfer, but I love it. I love it.
All of us are, Charles. All of us are, bro. Hackers. Yeah, that's what we are. Anyway, all righty. Let's see where we are here on the map. The Mapo. Nobody won tonight. Nobody won.
No, I don't like it when people don't win, though.
I know. All right, but they got to be on their game. I got to keep it real. You know, I can't call it nearly impossible Van Halen trivia if it ain't nearly impossible.
Very true.
So sometimes it's got to be impossible. Because
get 'em from
everybody
time to
got
time.
it every single absolute week.
You're the king of questions, brother. I give you that.
But I
Absolutely.
never plan on nobody getting it. I never intentionally make it impossible. You know, because there's names and I can see them in the chat right now. I know they know their shit.
Yeah. Yeah. They're a savvy bunch. Susan Wilcox is in the chat. Good to see you, Susan.
Good to see you.
Right on.
Right on. Yeah. Let me give a speaking of Susan, I don't know if it's the same Susan, but Susan Halen put up on social media, on Facebook, and one of the Van Halen groups, I think Eddie Van Halen Forever is the one she's a moderator for, but put up a 2012 Van Halen show from Sydney, Australia. I think Sydney, might be Melbourne. I think it's, from 2012. And it was a great show, and it was nice to see. I guess there was risk of it not staying up, Charles. So I went on and watched it. It was quite a good
It's
show.
still up right now.
Oh, good.
It's still up, I believe, unless it's been taken down.
Yeah.
But
So
I don't think so. I think it's
Susan,
still there.
thanks for that. We enjoyed watching that. That was a treat.
Paulie says he posted it days ago. Yes, it's making the rounds, bro.
Right on. Nice.
Right there, Paulie. Yeah, man. Very cool. Very cool.
Cool. Yeah. But yeah, I absolutely. We were planning on talking about this new Alex Van Halen book, but read the press release. We read it earlier in the show. It in Alex's words. I think this book is going to be something very special. Go and listen to these audio tapes of Steve on that interview. He caught Alex there. Ed wasn't there, and Alex was in a good mood and agreed to sit down right then. He initially asked him, then or another time or soon. Now that I've got you, he was like, "We can talk right now. Let's go." And they are wonderful. And like we say, 4, 5, and 6, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, noon Eastern. Yeah.
That Sydney Festival is what it was, and it's March 2013, Tony. This is called the Sydney Festival. It was with Aerosmith. Excellent audio, excellent video.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that was cool to watch it. Yeah. So thanks for putting that up there and out there. I just caught wind of it this week. Yeah.
Andy Carson's got to run. Be well, Andy. Love you, brother. Be
Andy,
well.
see you, dude.
Stay safe.
Be safe out there, dude. Yeah.
And yes, Lenny, there is a part where Edward passes through during an interview, and I believe, if my ears didn't deceive me, he steps in, corrects Al once, and then moved on. I'm paraphrasing, but I think I remember that, Lenny.
Yeah.
And you got to give this a couple of listens, because you'll miss all kinds of little things. And some of the audio in section 2, or was it 3, there's airplanes. You can hear a lot of air traffic going through, and Adam Roach did an incredible job cleaning this up to where we can actually hear it. So there's a couple of little spots in there where I had to go back and listen to hear what specific word it was, or what club was that, who was that specifically he was talking about. But it's there, and you can hear it. You can hear it.
Too, though, there are parts that do sound far away that I'm sure Adam had to clean up. They were outside there, and I don't know if Alex had gotten up and was walking away for a bit because he sounded, not right beside him anymore.
Well, it gives you a real-time idea as to just how noisy the Hollywood Hills are. Very noisy. And you can hear traffic, you can hear airplanes, multiple airplanes. You can hear all kinds of noise going on. And that's the way it was. LA's a noisy place. One of the sweetest things, though, is about 3 o'clock in the morning, with the exception of maybe a siren off in the distance, faint, very faint. It's quiet, man. And you might hear a car, but it's 6 blocks away, and you just hear this little swoosh going on. It's almost magical. I just went down memory lane reminiscing again. I'm sorry. I do that from time to time, you guys. Van Halen, Kurt. Damn right.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, good gosh. Yeah, I am super excited that we are right into spring. Me and Charles have big concert plans this spring in May to see Mammoth WVH and get to see the All Worlds tour, the Sammy, in July.
That's only 2.5 months away, Tony.
I know. I am May the 18th, 19th on a Friday. Oh,
Friday, how did we luck out, dude?
Yeah, expect extra stuff here on the channel. Don't expect a vlog every hour but we're going to go live at some point on site while we're there, either before, during, or after. Yeah,
we're gonna bring live. We're on Michael Anthony's side of the stage. We're gonna take as much photo as we can, guys. Straight up, real time.
Yeah, and very excited, very excited about both shows. But really, Charles, for as excited as I am to see Sammy and Mike and Joe Satriani, wow, Jason, but as excited as I am to see that, I think for me, I'm more excited to see Mammoth in May. I am.
I'm going to say this. I'm more anxious to see Michael Anthony live Honest, just Michael Anthony. I haven't seen him play live in so damn long, and I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy it, but I'm really there to just absorb Mike and Sammy. It's gonna be nice, and Joe Satriani is gonna deliver. He's gonna deliver so good, and Jason Bonham is gonna kick ass. But it's for me, it's I'm looking to absorb some Mike.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, man.
And by the way, Alex had some very nice things to say about him in the first 3 interviews. He tells, I mean, he doesn't glorify him and gloat over him, but he absolutely defines Mike's contribution to that band in real time, bass player to bass player.
He talks all of Alex in these tapes, talks firsthand about Snake, Mike offering to use the PA, them calling him to come over the next day just to jam, and it goes into all that, but it really brings it. We may do a whole show on just the damn nuggets of these, but Alex does go into it, and with certain terms, it said that he did not like at all from day one David Lee Roth.
Yeah, and he says it he tells it in real time. He does.
Yeah,
he does.
and not in he didn't say it in a way like you've heard in the interviews when Dave left the band and the back and forth was going on, all the historic, the little bits that Al and Ed said. It's not like that.
That's right. That's right. It's not.
So
it is an incredibly unique perspective that we are incredibly fortunate to have. He gives Dave, he bashes Dave. He says exactly how he feels. And then he absolutely, not backstepping, but makes it a poignant point to point out Dave's strong points and reflect on them as to how it impacted the band.
Now, these audio tapes, bear in mind now, Steve has a lot of lost interview tapes up with Ed, a couple of Ed and others, Dave and Mike and etc. But this to me in the Van Halen world is groundbreaking.
It's unbelievable.
To my ears, the stuff that I heard in these audio, these are just a couple days old.
Yeah.
They're brand new. No one's ever heard these, and it is and Alex talks about a lot of the stuff that we already knew about, but goes into it and takes it further, Charles, than in stuff that we hadn't, and like, holy shit, really? Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy. Absolutely, brother.
All right. So, yeah, go check them out there. And it's more to come. We are,
Mikey Mojo's rocking Saturday night 15th row center, Tony. PNC, right, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to beat. That's nice. Pretty righteous, bro.
Sweet.
Randy Van, welcome to Halenville, brother. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, dude, welcome.
Steve Rosen has audio tapes from an interview that he did back in '85 with Alex Van Halen. He's releasing them on his channel. He's released 3 of 6 so far. They're a little less than an hour each. You need to check them out, brother.
Yeah, there's a link for Steve's YouTube channel down in the description down there. If you scroll down and click on it, and you'll see them right there on the front. There's 3 of those that they're gold, man. Each one's just under an hour. So, I have them on the house speed. I can hear this out on the damn porches if I have house speakers on, and I can get housework done. But the part 4, 5, and 6, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday at 12 noon. And what Steve does is he sets these interviews to come out as a premiere, so there'll be a live chat. Steve will probably be over there. Adam will be over there. I'll be over there, if I'm not on the golf course, like I say.
Well, got to keep your priorities in order.
I know, but yeah, I have to wait and see what is. I don't know yet. Hopefully, I'll be on a golf course, a nice golf course, in nice weather.
There you go.
Yeah, but
Yeah, Kurt says you need to learn to multitask, Tony. You can listen to it while you're golfing, bro. Keep your head down, keep your thumb over, and listen.
I know. I have a hard enough time
Multitasking at its finest.
I have a hard enough time managing my game out there. I don't even have a game right now, Charles. I got work to do.
Hey, I'm not judging.
I don't, man. No. Well, my last round of golf, I'll tell you the good point and the bad point. We talked about walking on a golf course with one ball and leaving with the same ball. So the last hole, I birdied 18. You got to do well on the last hole, no matter how crummy your round's been. So I birdie 18, sink the putt from 8 or 10, 12. It was nice, but
sweet.
Yeah, but during the round, I lost 2 sleeves of balls.
That's about average for me. Not bad. It's not about how many balls you lose. It's about how much fun you had. That's the beauty of golf. You hit the damn ball and you make the choice to go and walk to it and hit it again. Oh, you can hit the clubhouse.
Right, but why the hell are you going to hit a golf ball that costs $5 and walk and can't find it when you can hit a shag ball that doesn't cost anything because you're not going to find it anyway, right?
Well.
Yeah. I'm tired of losing balls. All right.
This has been fun, you guys.
This is really been fun. And let's not forget, we have gotten really caught up in the excitement of these audio books, but Alex Van Halen himself is writing his own autobiography, due out October the 22nd is the release date. You can get it, pre-order it all over the place, but hopefully you will pre-order it with the Van Halen store. They'll be taking pre-orders when the closer to the release date Jeff is saying. We'll keep you posted here on that as we get more towards October and the excitement builds. Yeah. Mikey, good to see you, bro. Have a great week, dude.
Rock on, brother.
Yeah, so I suggest that all of you buy your book at the Van Halen store and not just from Amazon like that. Keep the dough at home, right here with Jeff. Yeah. All right. Anything else I am overlooking? I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
All righty. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. This has been so much fun. We're super excited about this Alex Van Halen book, and I'm super excited about this Steve Rosen audio Alex Van Halen Lost interviews, which we've only heard half of so far. So
And Lenny points out the Van Halen store is giving out a little gift
that's
along
right.
with the order.
That's what they're saying. Correct. You will get a surprise gift with your order. That's what they are saying. That's right. Thank you, Lenny. But the details are there on the site there at the Van Halen store about the book. You'll see all of the goodness, and the press release is there too. Great to hear out of Alex, Charles. I'm super excited about this book. Um, I I don't know that there's ever a chance that he'll play music live again, um, much less or in public. You know, we all wish and hope.
This is the year of Van Halen miracles, man.
I know. I know.
I anticipate it.
I don't anticipate it at all.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, because I want it to happen.
I want it to happen, but I don't see it happening. Hope I'm wrong.
For 10 years, I was like, oh, I mean, fingers crossed and everything. I wish Steve would write a book. I wish Steve would write a book. Hey, he finally did it.
I know.
Got to work.
I know. Tube Supio, good to see you.
Right on, Tube Supio. It's good to see you, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, it is very exciting, and we'll try to ingest this as we go. As Charles said a week or two back, I don't think this book is going to be revealing. We're going to learn a lot. There'll probably be a lot of explanations to stuff we already knew that's going to fascinate the hell out of us, a lot of which Steve's audio interviews are doing already for us. But yes, we get a good dose with these audios and with Alex's book in October. It's going to be an exciting year, Charles.
Nice.
Yeah, can't wait. Oh boy. Yeah, so everybody, let us know what you think of Steve's 1985 interview in September with Alex at 5150. It is remarkable, just remarkable. Yeah. All right, kids, we are gonna wind things down. Don't go yet. We are gonna let you know that, well, I guess I can't let them know if I don't. Let me put this in here. So around here on the weekend, we do a live stream on Saturday night at 9. And that's our party night, so to speak. And we talk guitar picks and rock memorabilia, and we pick a band each week, and we spotlight that band, and we show all their guitar picks and drumsticks and passes and all that kind of stuff. And this week we have big plans for Show Me Your Pick Saturday night Y&T yesterday and today, Charles.
God, I love that band.
That's Saturday night. Yeah. We hope you'll join us for that. That's going to be a good show. I got a lot of guitar picks from all those guys, plus drumsticks from a couple of those guys. But got some cool Y&T stuff. Loved Y&T, collected Y&T for a long time. So greatly looking forward to talking about Y&T. They've been on my list here, Charles, since day one.
Excellent.
Absolutely, they have.
What a
So,
band. Great history. They
yeah,
have great history. Lots of twists and turns. They had a run-in with Dee Snider at a concert once. We'll talk about it. I've seen him a couple of times. I've got a really good Will Turn Theater Y&T Robin Crosby story I'll share with you guys.
right on. So that's Saturday night. Come back and join the fun here. Show me your pick, 9 p.m. Eastern. Man, these concerts, they're coming up on us, Charles.
Yeah, time's flying, man.
I'm ready
Time's
for
flying.
I'm ready for a road trip, you know? I'm ready to do some road tripping.
We're 10 weeks out. We're 10 weeks out on our first concert. So it's coming up very fast.
There it is. That's 40 heading toward the mountains. That's
There
our
you go,
view,
man.
right?
There you go. That's it.
All right.
I love that view.
I can't wait.
That's a hell of a drive, let me tell you.
Appalachian Mountains are getting closer and closer. The start of the Appalachian Mountains for me is about 90 minutes heading west from central North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All righty. Everybody, leave a thumbs up on the video here. Thanks for watching. We talk Van Halen here every Tuesday. So count on it. Come back here next Tuesday. We're going to talk more Van Halen just for you. Thanks for being a Van Halen fan. God bless you for that. And any last words there, Charles Greene?
Guys, this is Halenville. Around here, it doesn't matter if you go north, south, east, or west. Every road is going to lead you to some Van Halen, you guys. I want to thank Steve Rosen. He rocks. You guys be well. Take care of one another. We love you guys. And don't forget, gotta rock on. Be well.